All right. Hello. Sorry, I'm trying to maneuver YouTube and TikTok at the same time. Hello, hello. I feel like it's been forever since I have come on live. Because it has. I don't think I've been on for over a month. Just so busy, and I don't like coming on live unless I know I'm going to have some time, and to spend with you guys. So it's been a while since since I've come on. Hi. Hello, Kimberly. I'm so glad that you're catching the chat as well. Hello and welcome. Hi guys, I see some familiar names here. How's everyone doing? Hope you guys are doing well. So I'm here to just answer whatever questions you might have in regards to past lives, QHHT, angels and guides, the spirit realm. I had a really cool session today that I will be sharing. And it was really interesting. My client went to, she didn't pop into a life. She actually, hello, Virginia. She actually went into her soul energy self. And it was really interesting. She was just kind of floating out in, she says, I see a constellation. She didn't know which one, but she can kind of see it in the stars. And what was really interesting is she became like an observer of humans, right? Because she wanted to possibly become a human, but she first wanted to observe. And so I took her, I was so curious, who are you observing, right? And the way she saw herself was sort of like a yellow energy. And she would observe different timelines, right? And different humans. And the first human that she observed was it sort of in the jungle, right? But very primitive, spears, very little clothing. And I was curious if she was observing a family or a village. And she said, no, one specific man that she would observe. And from her perspective, it was important for her to observe so that she was really interested in emotions, because from where they are from as an energy, there are no emotions at all. And before becoming a human, she didn't actually say she was going to be a human. She just told me she was an observer. And that was really neat, but she wanted to observe how humans interact and how humans are, how they handle emotions. And it was really interesting for her. So the first one was this very primitive man. So I asked again, I said, what else have you observed? Where else have you moved across and observed? And she moved to timelines, which they can do, right? There's no time up there. So she can go from a very primitive life into a more modern life and observe. And in this one, it was kind of like the 1950s. And she said that she was observing someone that was in printing, like an editor. And he was very stressed out. And she was really interested in observing that behavior and, that emotion of, how does a human handle, emotion, right? So, um, she also, I asked, do you follow him home? you know, yes, I observe him at home as well. So it was really interesting. And I was just so curious to ask, okay, so what's the end game here? And what was really neat is as an energy, when she would return to where she comes from, which she called it a star, okay? She called it a star, and she said that all the other energies, when they come together, they share collectively what they've learned from observing, right? Um, and then as I moved her forward, she finally decided to become a human herself, right? And it was really fun so that we were, hello, hello. It's Jen, right? Hi, Jen. Um, Anyways, yeah, so she decided to become human and I took her to that in between place. It's like, well, how do you choose a body? And it was cool. She was able to meet with her soul group, and she recognized that in this group of souls that her father was there, her current day father. And that was really interesting. There was some guides also. And yeah, one particular guide was sort of in charge, and I went ahead and connected with that guide through her and asked some questions, which was always really cool to hear from them about, what's the bigger picture here. And it was really fun because it was really cool because she I asked, what do you guys, they were in a room, the soul group, they were in a room, like a silver room is what she said, a silver room. Thank you for all the love. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm also live on YouTube, although it's quiet. I think there's only a few people here. I am also live on TikTok, and interacting with any questions. So, hey guys, if you are on YouTube, please leave there's the chat box and you can always ask a question or at least say hello. Tell me who you are. I'd love to see who's here. Um, so, when I asked her, what are you all doing in this room as you're planning? What is being discussed? And what she said was, my birthday, like when I'm actually going to be born. And I said, well, who chooses that? And she says, the guides do, which I had never heard that. I had never heard that before. I don't think I've ever asked that in that space, right? She just sort of brought it up. But what an interesting concept that the guides, of course, they know when we should be born, right? And what day we should pick. And of course, it has something to do with, personalities and whatnot, right? It has a lot to do with that. So that was really cool. And I had her also as a soul being to go to that point where she was observing her mother and father before she was born. And yeah, it was really beautiful. She got, emotional there as she was connecting. And then we had her soul join the fetus, right? And what was that like? I actually had her enter at the time that she was, fully developed, and asked her what that felt like. And she said it was very warm and cozy. She did feel as if the soul earlier on would come and go. It would kind of come and go, not fully in the baby, right? It was like, this is my baby. But when you're an advanced soul, you've got work to do, right? And remember how we leave our bodies too, guys. We leave every night. We astral travel. So why wouldn't a baby, right? Um, and so that was really interesting how she felt like, she says, I feel like I leave and come back. Um, and that was really fun. I've heard that many, many times as well in sessions. Um, and then she was born. She was born, and it was really interesting to learn how far she had come, um, from that higher perspective. It's like, today I really learned, we really take being human for granted. We just do. We're so caught up. We are just so caught up in our lives that we don't realize the bigger picture, right? And that's what really spoke to me today, and to her as well, of how important, how each and every one of us are so strategically planning to be here, right? This is not like, oh, I'm bored. What should I do today? Well, I guess I'll be a human. It is not that at all. And there was so much planning that she had done, so much observing from up there, observing humans from so many different timelines to learn, because we don't just jump in. And I promise you, I asked several times, are you excited about this? Do you have reservations? She goes, I am excited. I am excited. And it's like, I feel that. I feel like, as these souls, we are excited to come here before we come here, right? And then we get caught up, don't we? We get very, very caught up. And so that was really interesting. But what was cool also was when she came out, I had her come out of when she was born, and how she connected with her mom and dad, and how beautiful that moment was. And I asked her, how does that feel to be with them in this physical form? And she says, I recognize them at this very moment. I know who they are. How cool is that? Right? How cool is that to just know that these infants that come out, right? And yes, birthing a baby is stress on both the baby and the mother, of course, but how the baby is just instantly recognizes who you are, right? As mother or father. And so it was a very, very different session today. It was really different. And I'm excited to put that together for you guys so that you can have a listen. It was fun. Let me see what questions we have here. Um, Thanks for joining the live. I'm also live on, whoops, I'm also live on, sorry, YouTube, I am looking down because I'm also live on TikTok. So I'm kind of going between screens here. Let's see here. Hello, Virginia. I had a dream and I couldn't place the person in my dream, but she looked just like you. She did. That's interesting. Thank you for sharing. Except she well, I do wear dark glasses. I have these too. I have about 3 pairs of darker glasses and these. But I do wear the darker ones more often than these, because these are a little more delicate. So maybe it was me. Maybe I visited you. Thanks for sharing. I don't own cat eyeglasses. No. All right. Here's a typical question that I get almost every day. Almost every day. Has hypnosis ever not worked on someone? And of course, the answer is yes, because you're in control, right? You are in control. And especially if you have if you have fear or doubt, if you don't trust your practitioner, yeah, you might have some trouble. You might have some trouble. Um, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis, so keep that in mind also. And but I'm 99% there, pretty 99%. But over the years, of course, there are some people that just will not allow me in. And that's what it is. They're going through the actions. Hey, I want to do this, but their subconscious mind, there is fear, there's doubt, control is a huge one. People that have control, and they're not willing. So those are things that you really have to lay down. You have to really lay them down, so you can trust. But pretty much everyone has fear, a little bit nervous. They're nervous and they have that, I don't know, what if this doesn't work? Everybody feels that way. People walk into my office or, online here on Zoom sessions, and everyone is always, with the butterflies. But I talk you off the ledge. I just kind of keep you really calm, and we talk for a while. So you start to feel more comfortable, and just really explaining what hypnosis is. It's really so easy. It is so, so easy. And but yeah, there's always going to be someone that they've pretty much made up their mind when they're saying nope, that doesn't work on me. Well, then it's not going to work on you, because you've pretty much made up your mind and your walls have been built. So I hope that answers your question. But I believe everyone can. It's just a matter of, will they allow? Okay. All right. Hey YouTube, you guys are really quiet here. I see some people watching on YouTube. The chat is open. Do you guys have any questions? You guys are very, very quiet. TikTok has they're winning the race here. But they're learning at the same time. So, all right. I had a session and had some similar experiences, shifting times and still unpacking some of it. Yes, yes. And what I tell my clients also is that when they leave, because she booked my package, and that allows you to see first a past life regression, and then you come back like 2-3 months later for your big one, right? For a more advanced session. And the reason I like to separate those is because you are unpacking, right? From whatever you experience within the several days after your session, weeks after your session, even months after your session, you're still receiving information, downloads, serendipity, little moments that you will like, oh my God, this reminds me of my past life or my experience. So, hi, Catherine. Oh, hi, Catherine. How are you? Happy to see you here on YouTube. Please say hello if you're here on YouTube. So yes, you will absolutely continue to unpack it, and you're never ever gonna forget who you were and what you experienced. It's just like a part of you now, right? Thank you for sharing that. Hi, Kimberly. I think my dog visited me in a dream the other night. Oh, probably did. I'd love to share with you what one of my dogs did. It was so cool. I'll never forget it. But I had a little Maltese dog. His name was Levi, and he was my baby. He was my baby, and he slept with me. And it's what happens. Eventually, his time came. And one night I was totally asleep. But you know how you're shifting from left to right. Okay, so that's what was happening. I was shifting from left to right, and I guess my hand just sort of dropped. And when my hand dropped on the bed, I felt his little body right there, his fluffy little hair, all of it. And he was just right next to me. And of course, I'm not going to, open my eyes or anything. I'm in a dark room, and it was just that moment of, I'm going to turn the light on, and I know he's not going to be there. So let me just enjoy this moment, knowing that he's right there. And it was just the cutest visit. It was the cutest visit. So, Yeah, call them. Call your fur babies, and tell them, "Come sleep with me in my bed." I didn't ask; he just showed up. But Levi did pay me that visit, and I'll never forget it. It was so cute, so cute to feel all his little hair. He was super fluffy all the time. So I'm sure your dog was there if you dreamt. Yes. All right. So Kimberly wants to know if ADHD affects the ability to go under. So let me tell you that in my experience, those are my best clients. um, Honestly, some of my best clients. Yeah, it's not. There is nothing preventing you. Anxiety, chronic anxiety, ADHD, depression, in your mind you're going to think of all these excuses why you may not. No, my ADHD won't let me have hypnosis. Um, and it's not true. It's not accurate. And so clients that have ADHD, they do amazing. Yeah, it's they're some of my best clients that, and a lot of them are star seeds. I believe a lot of them are, have lifetimes on other planets. Very, very high vibrational people. So, not all, but most. So, yeah, it is not a deterrent at all. Not a reason that it would ruin your ability to relax. Great question. Okay. I see you guys are talking to one another. All right. So what do you guys want to know? You have me here on live. Hi guys on YouTube. Glad to see you here. Um, okay, so hi Kayla. Great question. Do you have examples of when a medical issue was healed from, due to past life was healed? Um, Honestly, countless. But here's some examples. So, and I have here on YouTube, you can actually listen to one of them. And sorry, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Here on YouTube, I have a session called Healing IBS. And who knew that she was going to come and be healed, right? She was just coming for a past life regression. And it's interesting when you experience a past life regression, we're not really doing the whole question thing about, uh, your any issues that you have going on, because that's more handled in the advanced sessions, QHHT or soul ascension. Um, but it's so funny how spirit has a whole different, they're like, nope, we're going to heal this. So healing IBS, you can listen to that on my YouTube channel. And I'm not going to ruin it for you so you don't listen, but basically, she was healed. And there's a whole reason why she had IBS. And let's just say, I will say that she was shot in the stomach in the past life. Okay. She was shot in the stomach, and that was causing the IBS today. My client at the time was in her 40s. And what is so crazy is that in her past life, she was 16 when she was shot. Okay. We think. When she said, when I asked how old she was, I don't know. I think she was 16 or 18. I don't remember. It's been a while. And in today's life, when I asked her, when did the symptoms start? When did her IBS start? What age do you think it started? right? So this is this is how powerful our subconscious minds are. Um, this in this case, I believe that this was more of an attachment issue from that past life, an attachment issue that attached to her in that way, and um, what basically manifested as IBS. Okay, excuse me. And so you can listen to that one. This woman, I from what I've heard and what she shared is, having IBS is very, very hard. Um, Socially, it's very difficult. Having to plan an outing, you're having to go to, and learn where the bathrooms are, where are the restrooms, and so that makes it really difficult. So you can hear that session here on YouTube. There's so many of my sessions here on YouTube also that are my clients are healing, or I am taking them to the place where healing is available. But many clients, oh gosh, many that are on thyroid medication, and QHHT generally clears that, where you don't have to be on medication anymore. The higher self doesn't really like meds, okay? But there is a reason why there are certain things that you are being affected, why you have certain diseases and why things are hurting. Um, and that always comes out when you're in a session. But one of the most, I would say the most amazing was my client and he was I think one of my oldest clients. He was, no, not quite the oldest, but he was in his 70s, and he came to see me. Hello. He came to see me, and he already had 6 stents in his heart, in, the valves, 6 of them. And recently he was having to go in for surgery for a 7th. And he was still in that process of, pre-op, whatever you call it. Um, and knowing that, and that's one of the reasons why he wanted to experience QHHT. And wow, he sent me the most beautiful review, just a glowing review. Because a lot of times I don't know, what happens unless my client emails me or tells me, or I know that the healing, takes place within a session. But he wrote me saying that, okay, well, his session, he did have a QHHT session, and the healing part, when they were healing his heart, um, that took just the heart. We were in that healing phase for 45 minutes. I just basically sat there holding space for the healing to take place. And he was describing to me what he was seeing while the healing was taking place. I did not know that they were going to clear that valve. So basically, in that session, he was completely healed. He did not have the surgery. He never had to have it. And even his doctor was just like, what? And yeah, he did not tell his doctor about what he had done. It was just one of those medical miracles. But they cleared it for him. So that was really beautiful. I've had a few clients that have cleared their vision, returned their vision to 2020 vision. Oh gosh, I could just go on and on, but those are just some examples of clearing medical issues, and not everything can be cleared, guys, right? So I've had people that have called me and said, can you heal me? I am not the healer, although I do heal. And sometimes I will, maybe some of you have heard me channel light language while I'm while there's a healing taking place, if I begin to hear the light language in my head, it's go time. I know that this is for them, and this is going to help for activation and for healing. And even while healing is done, I can always open Reiki and also heal. There are many of my clients feel hands on them while healings are taking place. So it's just a really beautiful space when this takes place. Hi, Caesar. Hi, Myra. Got to meet you in person on the weekend. Hi. Glad you're here. Your name sounds familiar. Ever cured a disease? A disease. I'm gonna have to think on that. I have, okay, remember, I don't cure. Okay, so let me make that very clear. It's the higher self that does the curing. Okay. So just putting it out there, I don't cure, but what has happened is symptoms can also be alleviated, right? Sometimes the disease is a lesson, and they'll be told that in the session. It's pretty interesting. So, but many times some of the symptoms can reduce, almost completely go away. That I've definitely seen that happen too. All right. Thank you for those questions, Kayla. All right, so let me check back on TikTok and see. I see some questions here. Oh, hello from the UK. Hi, welcome. Is it expensive to do a past life regression? Hi, is it V or Vi? Good question. I will tell you that my past life regressions are 288. That's kind of the start. And this includes about 2.5 hours in session. And it also includes a consultation, a 20-minute consultation the week prior. You're also given lots of tools prior to your session to get you ready. So, and then it moves up from there because your sessions get longer, even as long as 4.5, 5 hours. All right. You can always visit soulscience.net or click the link on my profile here on TikTok. YouTube, you guys have my profile information on my bio on YouTube. And I also offer some payment plans. If you reach out to me, there are some people that will do like 3 payments towards their session and until it gets paid. All right. Great to see you. This algorithm is terrible. Miss your lovely content. Oh, hi, Heidi. Oh, gosh. Okay, let's talk about content and algorithm on Instagram. It's hilarious. So I became a grandmother 4 months ago, and my beautiful spiritual, I have my private Instagram and my work one, Soul Science Hypnosis. Please follow me on Soul Science Hypnosis in case TikTok. I'm spending less time on TikTok and more on Instagram now because just I don't know what's going to happen here. So so you don't lose me. Please go to Soul Science Hypnosis. The link here on my profile will also take you there. Follow on Instagram. So your question. Oh, I was talking about algorithm. Yeah. So I became a grandmother 4 months ago, and my Soul Science Hypnosis, everything I'm getting is just babies, and I never had seen this before ever, and I think I liked one video, and they're just so cute. They're just so cute, and then I just kind of go down the rabbit hole, and now I'm sending my daughter-in-law all these videos, and yeah, I'm learning so much about babies, and I raised 4 sons. They're all men now. So, but I'm glad you found me again. Glad you're here. I've always been into this. I'm so afraid of death and nothing being after. Greatest fear in my life. Wow. Sugar, spice, and everything nice. Um, Visiting and recalling a past life will clear that up completely. So, or listen to my podcast, or go on YouTube, um, and you can listen to some sessions there, and that fear will go away. I promise you it will go away when you realize in each session what is waiting for you. So it's beautiful. All right. What's the name of that has IBS? Hi, Carmen. The name of the video on YouTube is Healing IBS. You're going to have to scroll down because there are many, many videos that I post, and it has a picture of like kind of Gone with the Wind dresses, big poofy dresses because it was during that time, and it's like a picture of a ballroom, and they're sort of these women are sort of standing with the men, but it is there, and it's called Healing IBS. You'll just have to sort through that. Okay. Hi, Melinda. Melinda's here on YouTube. Thank you so much. She says, hello, Myra. Love your Metatron videos. Thank you so much. I am having such a wonderful time interviewing Metatron, who is channeled by Wendy Gale. She is a full body trance channel. And every month I get to sit with Wendy, who brings Metatron in, and Metatron and I have a lovely Q&A, and those are both here on YouTube under the playlist. It's my podcast playlist, or you can listen to my podcast, Past Lives with Myra Rapp, on Spotify or Apple or wherever you listen to podcasts. It's available everywhere. The easiest way to find it is here on TikTok. Click the link on my bio. That will take you to all my platforms. I'm so happy that you're enjoying it. And boy, are we learning a lot by having these conversations with Metatron. He is so wonderful. Okay. Let's see. So, does every past life regression come with physical healing or just QHHT? No. Hi, Heidi. Great question. Many of my past life regressions have healing. It could be fears. Remember, it's not something physical, right? So it could be fears, phobias, and healing can come in many, many ways. It could even just understanding why a relationship, a karmic relationship, is the way it is, right? So maybe why am I not getting along? I'm going to be sharing that one very soon here on my podcast, but why you don't get along with certain people. And even that can be healing because now you're understanding, and that gives you closure. There's a lot of sadness that comes with not getting along with certain people. And it just causes so many, issues. And so healing, there's layers, many, many layers. So no, you do not have to have the big, session to have healing. But there's a lot that you can heal, right? But very good question. Thank you so much. All right. So here on YouTube, Caesar's questioning, I wanted to ask you about a past life regression. There was a time where I was a Black woman. Yes. So yes, you can absolutely change genders, right? So a lot of my clients, if you hear my sessions, women are men and men can be women. And we can also be different races. So a lot of my, white Caucasian clients can have a life where they were Black women or Black men. And there are a few on my YouTube channel that you can hear. In fact, there's one called Sisters Karma that is quite remarkable. I have a client who was born in Jamaica. She came to see me, and her and her sister just could not get along. It was since they were little, just constantly fighting and arguing. My client was the younger sister, so she would submit to her older sister. She was just very submissive. And she spoke about her sister in her session for a good half hour. And when I took her through her session, she saw 3 lives, and her sister did not show up in any of the lives. I was waiting for it, okay? And it didn't come. It didn't come. And I knew how important this was for her. And so I gave her a bonus. Once we completed the 3rd life, something inside me, it's like, I'm not going to wake her up yet. I need to find where this is coming from. Why aren't these sisters getting along? So thanks for all the love. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you. So I get so distracted from hearts. Sorry. Thank you for the love. I appreciate it. Back to the sisters. So I just basically said, let's drift and float. We're going to move to a lifetime that you shared with your sister. That's all you got to say, right? And the mind's like, okay, I'm not going to avoid it anymore, because that's what she was doing, was avoiding. She was avoiding. She was just bipping along life after life, not wanting to look at the truth, because the truth was too painful, right? And so when she landed in that life, the 4th life, she discovered that she was standing on a porch. She was a man. So mind you, my client today was born in Jamaica. She's a Black woman. And she goes into this past life where she is a white man standing on a porch. That's what comes out. You can listen to this one on YouTube. Looking out at her slaves, at his slaves, sorry, his, because she was a man. And yeah. So who do you think her sister from today was, right? It doesn't, it doesn't take much to figure that out. And so it wasn't good, but that was their karma, right? So her sister in that life was one of the slaves, and it wasn't pretty. It's a short video. It's only about 9 minutes, because we didn't really have to get into it. And there is a warning actually on that video for some violence. So just be cautious if you're curious about listening to it, that there is some, sensitive information on there. Okay. How does that help my client today, knowing that she was a slave owner? I'll tell you, because when she woke up, she had pretty much written off her sister. She'd pretty much like, forget it. I'm just over it. We don't get along. Every time I try, it just doesn't work. And so this allowed her, I remember when she sat up, it was, you instantly want to work it out. She's like, oh my God, now I know why. Now it makes sense why my sister dislikes me, right? There's still that imprint. It's an imprint, you guys, right? It's an energy. You don't know that you're holding on to it, but you are. You absolutely are. And this gave her now the patience, the compassion that she needed. So right there, even there in those 9 minutes, she was able to open up, learn the truth, and also be more patient with her sister, work more at creating a relationship with her sister. She says, I feel like it's me. I need to make a difference. I'm the one who has to try. I have to try. And so that's all I can offer my clients is that closure, that understanding. So it was really remarkable to give her that understanding. So, all right, let's see. We see some more questions. So I hope that helps you. You know, yes, you can see yourself as different genders. Thanks for the question, Caesar. Melinda, hi. I had a dream where I saw a blue and pink skinned humanoid being. Is there more info on the pink beings? Well, pink, 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 pink. I remember, gosh, do I have that? I might have it here on YouTube. And yeah, look on my YouTube on the list of all the videos way, way down, maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Okay, like 2020, 2021. And there may be a face of a pink being. And listen to that one. She was a pink humanoid being. I don't share everything. I don't put everything out because there's just so many and I can only do so much. But I don't know. Blue and pink skinned. Oh, this one's blue and pink. Yeah, Melinda, I have many blue. Tons. So many, so many. And they're all from different places, different planets, different dimensions. Yeah. So, Melinda, you can always go on here on YouTube and look for the galactic, sessions that I have. And some of them are blue. You can see the pictures. I always try to add a picture and you can research it and something might resonate with you. All right. Hi, Tom. I know how much you love the Metatron videos too. You're the best. You're the best too. Thank you, Tom. Thanks for being here. All right. All right. Looks like some comments were filtered. Thanks, TikTok. There's always going to be some people that pop on that, don't believe in this. Hi, Alicia. You can click the link on here on TikTok, click the link, and it will take you to all my platforms, including the website where you can book a session. All right. I hope to meet you soon. When will you have your next past life regression certification course? It's going to be in September, and very soon we are doing a pre-enrollment special that will save you $200 from the actual price. I just need time to add it and put it on my website. It's going to be in September, the weekend after Labor Day weekend. It's going to be that weekend with 1 weekend off, and then we regroup for the following weekend. So it's 2 weekends with a break in between and pre-enrollment information. So the best thing you can do is bookmark my website and come back. Click the link on here on TikTok. Visit soulsigns.net, bookmark it, and hopefully you can pre-enroll and save the $200. There are quite a few people already waiting, and this is the first time that I'm saying it's going to be in September, since Scott, my teaching partner, and we just talked about it. Thanks for asking. All right, great. What is your name? User 712998. If you're okay giving your name. All right. All right, guys. Oh, Liz. Okay, wonderful. So that way, if I know your name is coming through, I'll remember that it was from here from TikTok. It's a great class, and I'm having so much fun. Scott DeTamble is my teaching partner. He actually, I met him because I actually went and had a session with him. He was. Hmm, he does the Life Between Lives. So he worked with Dr. Michael Newton. And so that's all he does is Life Between Lives. He's registered under their library of practitioners. And I'd been wanting to have that experience. I offer that experience to my clients, but I had not had that myself, right? Personally myself. And so that's how we met. He actually guided me through my session, and he asked if I was interested in teaching, and I had been interested in teaching. I just didn't have the time to put together the curriculum. So, and he had been teaching already for many years. And so we are very different. We have different styles, and you might pick up on that during class, but I think the students really love that. A student will ask a question and he will answer it and give a completely different answer than I would. And that's the beauty of this work, is that there's no right or wrong way. It's your way. And so it's really, yeah, it's really wonderful. And I think that, it's wonderful to see the students just take what they've learned and just grow. And we need more practitioners that do this, because traditional therapy, although it's wonderful and I honor the work that they do, but often traditional therapy cannot do what we are doing in session. This is sometimes coming from other timelines, and this is something deeply, deeply affecting you. It's like your blueprint, and they keep you in this life. And so, yeah, it's been really wonderful to see, the magic happen. So Kimberly, is it online or in person? If you're speaking about the certification course, it is online, because yes, we're working with people globally at this time. But if you're speaking about my work, it's both. It is both online and in person. Okay. Hi, Linda Gardiner in YouTube. Thanks for being here. Highly recommend the course. It was life-changing. Who is that? My Music City Life. Who is that? Which one of my students is on here? I only know names. I don't know I don't know who I'm talking to. Oh, hi, Lily. Lily was in our first class. Thank you. My Music City Life. Oh, that's an interesting username. So Lily, yes, she was in our first group of students, and it was so much fun. So much fun. Hi, Kaylee. I am new here. What's your work? Hi, Kaylee. Welcome. I am a past life regression therapist. And so I help people recall their past lives. It's really interesting when I do the group regressions. Um, some people think I'm taking them to their childhood, right? Some people don't quite know what past life regression really is. And because I move around and I'm working out of many studios, doing group hypnosis, sometimes they will, buy a ticket and go, oh, I want to be hypnotized to my past. And they literally think they're going to their past. Okay. So let me tell you what's wrong with that. So, because now I have to make an announcement, I have to let people know what they're really getting. because a few times, okay, so if everyone knows my work here, of course, we always take you to the transition day. This is the death day. And it's important to see that, to see how your life ended, okay? Because there's so much more waiting for you outside of that. Um, and so what happens is if you're going, if, you know, in a group setting, I'm not talking to my clients. It's more like a meditation where everybody is moving at the same time from um, from one place to the next, right? But if you think that this is your life, your subconscious mind is going to take you to your through your life, and you can actually move forward or backwards in your life. You could see your future life today, right? And I have taken people to their future. And remember that these are all possibilities. But the issue is that when we visit the death day, you're actually seeing your death day in your life today. And that has happened to a few of my clients where they're like, oh my God, I saw when I saw my death day and I was surrounded by family. And it's usually very beautiful, but I'm like, that's not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to do that, right? Like, what do you mean you didn't go into a past life? And so, full disclosure, um, I have to announce to people now in groups, does everyone here understand why you're here? Why you're here? You're here to experience a past life, not this life, right? So we've got to lock that in so that they have an understanding. And there are some people that look around the room going, wait, what? What are we doing? So yeah, that's pretty funny. But no one has seen anything troublesome or anything ugly or anything like that. It's almost like your higher self is saying, let's go easy here and let's show them that beautiful life. Because one thing that Metatron told me in one of the questions in the podcast is that we have many possibilities of how we're going to die. When we pre-plan, we come with hundreds of ways to exit. It could be disease, it could be accident, it could be unaliving. Even unaliving is always a choice. He says it's always a choice. And so we come with many, many ways of hitting that eject button for ourselves, which I found very interesting. So, if you have not heard the Q&A channeling series with Metatron on my podcast, please do. You will love it. There are now 7 series, and it's really wonderful. You're going to learn a lot. I've learned a lot from what he says. So, and you can also send in your questions if you have a question for Metatron, who is Metatron. That was one of the questions that I had early on. And if I can interpret what he mentioned, it's basically when when Source began to create, he created Metatron. He was like the first, right? So he's pretty wonderful. He really is pretty wonderful. And I've always said I have like a little crush. I have a crush on an archangel named Metatron. He's just so knowledgeable and wise and just adorable how he comes through. He's really, really wonderful. All right. About a year ago, I went to Mount Shasta. And upon arriving, their uncontrollable crying. Wow. Yeah. So it's pretty profound. It's a pretty profound place and very powerful. Metatron mentioned, how powerful that place is, and there are many, many other places that have portals, and they're just super high frequency. So it could be that you were connecting with some of your soul star family uh, in Mount Shasta. Hi, Linda. I love your channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I love that. Thank you so much. Is there a chance of asking Metatron how I can heal this severe shoulder? I think it says pain. Sorry, because there's a little icon. I've had it for years. I would be so grateful. I can't ask Metatron to, um, you would have to tap in with him and talk with him for, have a private session with him. That's not a question to ask in a podcast space, Linda. But, you know, I might ask when people feel pain, what should we do, right? Because, Linda, the shoulder, I will tell you, can you tell me if that's a left or right shoulder? Linda, tell me if that's your left side or right side, and I will try to pin down what that might be. Hi, Myra, it's Joy. We spoke a couple of weeks ago on Sunday, right after you finished your class. Hi, Joy. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the live. Kaylee, very interesting. That's so cool. How can you help a deity? Morning, Dragon, why do you think a deity needs help? I'm confused because usually we call on a deity to help. Right shoulder. Okay, so Linda is here on, I'm working YouTube as well as TikTok here. Linda has pain on her right side. So let me tell you from a perspective of the higher self and when we feel aches and pains, okay? So when you feel pain on the left side of your body, you're feeling pain that's usually, this is the higher self. Okay, let me rewind. Let me rewind. When we feel pain, this is a message, it's a signal, because most of the time, your higher self has been trying to communicate with you, has been trying to get messages to you. And what do? We ignore it. We ignore it, we ignore it, we ignore it. And when we ignore it, now the higher self says, okay, I'm going for the physical now. Maybe you'll listen if I do something to the physical body. So if it's something on the left side, this is usually something from your past, meaning long time ago, maybe 10 years, 15, 20 years. Left side could also be a past life issue. The right side, like Linda is saying, her right shoulder, she has severe shoulder pain and she's had it for years. Okay. So where you have the pain is another message. I'm going to share the book with you all. This is Dolores Cannon's daughter. Julia Cannon wrote this book, Souls Speak the Language of Your Body. I use this book all the time as a tool in my sessions. Okay, so Julia, basically, she talked to her mom would tell her all the time of, all the stories of what the higher self was saying and who was healed. And you wouldn't believe what the higher self said about, the knee or whatever. Okay. And so this book is based on that, how literally the body is a message machine. Okay. And so when you feel, Linda, this is for you. When you feel pain in this area, okay, in your shoulders and your upper back, this is usually a message that you are carrying a heavy load. All right, Linda, I'm going to let that sink because I do a lot of lives with this information and it usually resonates with people. Carrying a heavy load. And the right side, kind of go back. You're saying that you've had it for years. Go back to when it started. I don't know how many years, but go back, right? What was happening in your life when that started? Okay. Pain in the neck. You know how sometimes we wake up and we have a really bad neck pain? Well, it's not how you slept. Generally, it's not how you slept. There you are. The neck. Okay, what does the neck do? Think about what the neck does. The neck can let you see things, right? You can turn this way, you can turn this way, and the neck is mobile. And when you wake up with pain, what the higher self is telling you is you're not looking at something. Okay, you are not looking at something. It's really quite interesting how the higher self communicates with us. You got to pay attention. Linda, I also had right shoulder pain. Um, Hold on. I also had right shoulder pain. Uh, Sorry. Time out, guys. There's something going on with my refresh. Hold on. TikTok's making me do something. All right, sorry. They were going to shut me off because I hadn't moved the, I don't know what TikTok's doing. So Linda, I actually had right shoulder pain and I ignored it. I wanted to get a cortisone shot. And I know better than this. I know better. And my doctor was like, no, we're going to do physical therapy. I just woke up with terrible pain and I couldn't even raise my arm. And then I sat with this information and I realized, no, this is a message. This is a message. I know it's a message. And there was something, it's not just carrying a heavy load. It's not feeling supported. Okay. And there was someone in my life, very close to me, that was not supporting. And I needed to have that conversation. And the timing was just never right. And so the pain just got worse and worse and worse. Right. And so when I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't even put my shirt on. It was so bad. I'm like, please stop, please stop. But this conversation needed to happen. It had to happen. And so I finally had that conversation. And it was almost, I would say within 3-4 days, my arm was completely mobile and the pain went away. Right. So yes, the higher self does speak to you through your physical body. All right. Cancer. Okay, so she's bringing up cancer on the right side. Cancer, according to the book, is anger, right? Cancer, wherever you have it, is anger that is unexpressed. Okay, unexpressed anger. This is not 100% of the time, but likely, very, very likely, it is anger that is not talked about, not expressed. Where you have the cancer is another message. And having it in the breast area, according to Dolores Cannon, right side of the breast would be something more. Okay, think about what the breasts are for, and that is more for nurturing, right? Not feeling nurtured. And the right side is current, it's more recent, right? So go back to when you did have that, and I'm so sorry that that did happen. Go back to that time that you were diagnosed with cancer. What was going on, and how was your relationship with the closest people to you, where perhaps you were not feeling nurtured? And sometimes the whole nurturing is with parents, right? Mother, father. So let that sit. Let that sit with you, Linda, and you're welcome. And see if that makes sense to you. Okay. All right. Let me get back here. I don't want to ignore my TikTokers. There's a lot of comments here. You guys, I know. Sorry, I'm behind. You guys are talking about Mount Shasta. Hi, Juan Acosta. Hello. Any messages for me? Hey, Debbie. I wouldn't know, my dear. I'm not a psychic reader. Yeah, I'm not a reader. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Do you know anything about what? Dermatillomania? I've never even heard that. Derm, dermatillomania. Sorry, I don't know what that is. Debbie, I'm actually a hypnotherapist. So we are talking about past lives, past life regression, and QHHT hypnosis, which is Dolores Cannon's method. um, so it's mostly we're talking about past lives. That's what we are. I am nearing the end of my live though. Linda here on YouTube. I'm also live on YouTube. She's sharing quite a bit. So I want you guys to hear this. We were just talking about Linda and her pain, right? We talked about how the higher self communicates with you. And what I mentioned about the breast cancer and how if it's where the cancer is located it's a message. And so Linda has just shared with us, and thank you, Linda, for being so open, because this really now is turning into quite the master class, is it not? She is sharing that dad started molesting her at the age of 4, and mom blamed her and yelled at her. She moved away from the parents when pain started and breast cancer. I forgave them. Wow. So yeah, forgiveness is important because, again, cancer is unexpressed. And so that probably, Linda, was building up quite a bit for many, many years for you. So I'm so sorry. And I'm so glad that you have, found forgiveness. It's a lot of lessons that you came here for, Linda, a lot. So hopefully you guys here on TikTok heard that and are learning about, yeah, your body is talking to you, and that's your higher self speaking. Sometimes you need to sit with it and just say, what is this pain about? What does this mean? Right? What does this mean? So, OCD, skin picking disorder, the only ailment I struggle with. Haven't heard that one. Kenda, I have not heard that before. I'm so sorry. I wish I had a better answer. I hurt everywhere, LOL. Okay. All right, guys. I'm probably going to wrap this up because my phone is going to die very soon. But I certainly enjoyed talking with all of you on both platforms. I'm going to continue putting information out. So I'm just going to give a few plugs. Listen to the podcast, Past Lives with Myra Rath, if you're interested in listening to some sessions. There are more on my YouTube channel. If you're interested in listening, please click the link here on TikTok. That link takes you to all my platforms, including my website. I also have events. If you're in LA or Orange County, there's always some place that I'm going to be at, and I'd love to connect with the communities and conduct group past life regressions. I've had a lot of people requesting to do an online past life regression, and I will be doing that soon. Maybe in June. So stand by for that. And I'll try to get a date out for you guys soon. Okay. Hey, Joanne, I struggle with stomach problems. So I will say that the stomach, this is your digestive system, right? And so without saying too much, I'm just going to assume it's one or the other. Number one is you're constipated, or number two, you're not constipated. And you are going a lot, right? So it's one or the other. And when you have stomach problems, according to the higher self and all the information that is retrieved from these sessions, is that if you are constipated, the message is, what are you holding on to? It's just wants to know, what are you are holding on, gripping something, holding on for dear life, something, and it's affecting your bowels, right? Or, the release of your bowels. You're holding on. Then there is the reverse. Oh God, what was it? Now I don't remember. I don't remember what the other one was. So sorry, I can't tell you. But you guys get it. You understand that the body is a message machine. And, the important thing, guys, is we don't get one of those get out of jail cards, right? Like in Monopoly, you can't hide behind this physical body. You can't hold on to things. We are here to live, learn, let go, right? Forgive, compassion. Linda here. Wow. I mean, Linda here on YouTube. Linda, you are an evolved soul to work through what happened to you as a child. And she's forgiven her father, right, for what he's done. But how many millions of women will not forgive their father, right? They will not. And they're going to hold on to that. And what's really happening is just making yourself sick, right? We are holding on to this energetically and making ourselves sick. So healing is available. Absolutely, healing is available. And it was so great talking to all of you here on both platforms. This was fun. I hadn't done it in a while, and I just want to say thank you. Thanks for all the great questions. I appreciate all of you. Keep on listening, keep on watching. Share the podcast, share with your friends, talk about it. This is important work, and I certainly hope to work with some of you in the future. Remember, I do this also online. I work with people globally around the world. The only one that is done in person is QHHT. But if you go on the website, there is my Soul Ascension hypnosis, which is derived from QHHT, but just really evolved from QHHT. I've learned from many teachers, including Dr. Brian Weiss. Dick Sudfin was one of my first teachers. My hypnotherapy teacher, Marissa Peer, she had a lot of techniques that I use, and I've had many teachers. So I've compiled everything from all of my teachers and created my own, my very own method called Soul Ascension. And that can be done online as well. So, all right, everybody. Thanks so much. I appreciate all of you. I had fun. And take care. Bye, everybody. Bye. Now I don't know how to get off. I don't know how to get off YouTube here. How do we do this? I have no idea. Okay. Give me a sec. But bye, everybody.